Hey guys. So I recently had a conversation with a friend who was doing solar installations in California, and he was having an issue where he was having trouble scaling up his sales team. And he was basically about to pay something like 20K to get a software team to try to build this thing for him so that his sales guys could have access to, a chat thing that could help them sell. Um, and I told him before he did that, he should check out some options that exist for making his own software. And I'm going to show you exactly what I showed him and basically how he saved about 20K by building this thing for himself in 10 minutes. So here's the core issue. He was going door to door selling solar to businesses and eventually residential. And he hired, I think, 3 or 4 people. But the issue was that they weren't very good sales guys. And it wasn't that they weren't trying, but they just couldn't answer questions very well. So I told him to go to Replit and to try creating a new app. Um, if you've never used this before, I'd highly recommend it. Just try it out. It's really, really simple. And literally, this is exactly what I told him to do. Like, write out who he is, right? So his name wasn't John, but let's say this is who he is. So you can write out, I'm John Jones, CEO of Method Solar. We go door to door selling solar installations. I want to make an app for my sales guys so that they can quickly answer client questions through a chat interface. Um, they also had, not this document, but they had something like it, which was like a full sales rundown. It's like, here are all the questions that a person might have. Here are the rules in California. Like, here's disclosures that you have to talk about. And then here's some information about the contracts. So for him, he also had a bunch of details on the products and like the services they did. It was just one big document and he would make people read it. So that's fine. What's great about Replit is that you can just toss that in, right? So it's like, I'm just telling this thing like it's a software developer. Like, hey, here's the thing that I want my guys to know. Create an app for it. Now, the last thing that was important to him, and this is why he was going to hire a software team, was he wanted it so that only people with the right email domain could view it. So people that he'd set up, to make sure that not anyone could see his own like customized sales script. So what I'm going to say here is ensure that only people with the email domain methodai.com can log in to view and use the chat. So basically, what I've done here is I've just told it exactly this situation, what I want it to build, like a chat interface. And I'm telling it that I only want people with this specific email domain to be able to see it. So I might even have an example here. So e.g. like Josh at, and this is my own like personal domain, but it can be anything. So that's fine. And then let's see, anything else I want to include here? Create an app. No, I think it's fine. I'm going to just say landing page should be very simple and have a simple sign-on button. Okay. So that's it. I just wrote a really quick prompt. I'm going to click play and watch it go. So this will take a little bit of time. Basically, Replit will first start creating a design, and then once I like the design, I can click go, and it'll do the rest of the work. I don't actually have to be here while it's working. I can, go watch a movie or get a coffee. So I'll be back when it's done. Okay, and it's made some progress, which is awesome. So you can actually look through on the sidebar basically everything that it's doing, and it's pretty incredible. Like, you don't really need to read this if you're just trying to build something quick, but this is basically a conversation that the AI is having with other AI agents, and it's doing all this work, like all the code, it's writing it. And this isn't just like it's not just no code, mashing stuff together. It's actually writing really good code. And it's testing and restarting and trying stuff out. And now that it's, basically been working for about 5 minutes, I can look on the right and see a pretty decent looking, kind of okay, passable landing page. So it's actually still working. So I'm going to give this some time. And then once I think it's ready, I'm going to try to log in with my own account and see how that goes. Okay, so it's been another few minutes. It's basically been working this whole time. You can check out everything that's done inside the sidebar. It's done testing. It's basically been conversing with itself and deciding the best way to look at things. And now it's actually reached a point where we can publish it. So the name right here, it's kind of generated one, solar chatbot, and then kind of my name. I'm just going to keep it that way. Let's call it like solar sales chatbot. Maybe just solar sales. Cool. Now, I haven't actually even used it at all yet, which is kind of remarkable. Like it's made this whole app. I basically just looked at the landing page. And in a few seconds, it's going to be live, which is not bad. So once it is live, I'm actually going to try to like test it on my own account and see if I'm able to get it to work. So we'll see what happens. So one thing to think about is that this app, I can basically build it. I can edit things on the left side by just conversing with these AIs that do all the work. And then you can kind of, preview and see what's going on. Every time you want to like have it actually get deployed to the internet, you just want to publish it. Usually, there's a lot of stuff you have to think about when you're publishing an app like this and the way it's deployed. You can even see up here, there's like a database. For our cases, like if I just want to get something working, and for my friend's case, he didn't care about any of this. Like he's not a tech guy at all. You don't have to think about any of this, right? Just click the buttons, wait a few seconds, and then try stuff out. Okay, great. So it's fully deployed. Honestly, it's pretty incredible. Like the work that it used to take to make something like this would be at least a day of just setting stuff up and getting it all working. And now it's done. I mean, it took about 15 minutes to be fully complete, but I just got up and I was hanging out. So here we go. Here's my new app that I just made. I'm going to go ahead and sign in. So what's cool too is that it'll have an automatic authentication system. I was just testing it here and it's pretty crazy. Yeah, so a lot of the time too, if you're building your own software app and like launching on Vercel or something, handling authentication is a little bit annoying. So you either use like a third party or you have to set up NextAuth. But in this case, none of that matters. So if I'm if I'm like a sales guy and I want to know, let's see, I'm about to sell to a person in San Fran, in an old 2-bedroom bungalow. What do they need to know? Let's see. Cool. Okay. So this is pretty phenomenal. Like a lot of these very specific California like regulations and other pieces that I might need to know, it's all here. And I don't have to like search through documents to find this. It's just right there. I could even get it to respond. Maybe it says, let me know if you want a script or followed email. So like, yeah, write an email. Now what's cool too is that I'm kind of noticing there's some things I might change about this, right? Like for one, the formatting here is a little weird, right? This is actually Markdown, but I'm not showing it properly. So basically right now the message is here. It's kind of treating it like it's normal text, but the AI is responding in a certain format that still works, but it just looks a bit strange. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go back and say that. I'm going to say, in our message output, we're not... here's another thing too. Like I know that this is Markdown, but what if I don't actually even know the right way to say that? I'm actually just going to take a screenshot of this. I'm just going to paste it in. So we're not properly formatting our text. So for example, we have this kind of line. The subject should be bold, not surrounded by asterisks. So this is something that, if you're not technical at all, you can just take a picture, you can send it back to Replit and say, hey, like, here's an issue, like, fix it. And then, let's see, I see the issue, the chat message is showing raw Markdown. Yeah, so it's great. I don't even need to tell it, hey, this is Markdown, fix it. I can just say, hey, like, this looks weird. And it'll go ahead and think, it'll find the right file to work with, it'll think to itself on how to fix this issue, and it'll get to work. Cool. Okay, so it ran again for a few minutes. Now that it's done, I'm just going to go ahead and republish. Something actually that I tried a second ago was seeing if I could test it in preview. But another thing that I should have tested is whether or not it would only allow me to sign in with this kind of an email, which it doesn't, which is great. So in this case, if I'm running a business and I want to make sure only certain email addresses are allowed in, that's something you can do really quickly, and it just does it automatically. So right now it's publishing again. In another minute, I'm going to test on the actual website and then see if it's fixed the issue. Okay, so it's been republished. Let's see. Amazing, great. So now it's been fixed. So I'm showing proper markdown, which is fantastic. So this looks a lot better. And maybe the final thing I'll do is I want to make these docs a little bit easier to access. So maybe if I'm logged in, I should be able to view the same, doc. So let's go back to Replit and say, add a specific page when I'm logged in to view the full sales doc. Cool. So it's been another few minutes. I just basically asked it to, what did I ask it to do? To include the full sales doc, republished, and here we go. Sales guide. Awesome. Yeah, so again, that was probably $4 worth of credits. It took 20 minutes. It took no work. You just tell it what you want and you get what you want. So thanks a lot for watching. If you have any questions or feedback or things that you want to see next, let me know.